that? Hey everyone, it's been a while since I did a video on come-alongs, so I thought I'd go to early versions that look like this. These are made by a variety of different companies. I'm just going to look at English ones today. They go by many names. Some people call them come-alongs. They're also called Snips, Snaps, Grips.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Snips and Snails and puppy dog tails. But anyway, they were made by mostly the same companies that made the handcuffs. For example, this is Hyatt. On the one side it says British made, and on the other there's the stamp. Hope you can see it. And they're really easy to operate. Basically there's a spring up here, and this opens up and you can see that it's got the little notch and it catches inside. And it's applied, as you would think, to the wrist like this. Sometimes they would call them snaps because it makes a snap when it's closed. And the officer would just grip it like this. That's why they call them grips too. And pull the guy, pull the dude into jail. Just like with other types of come-alongs, if you twist it, you can really do some damage to the wrist. So you'd have to be careful. And the thing about these is the ones that I have here don't lock. Some of them did have like a little locking mechanism up top, but most of them were just held by that spring catch. Listen. Okay. It's interesting to note that on some of the earlier models, not this one, but on some of the earlier models, there's actually like a flower motif on that center pivot, on that center hinge thingy. The part that opens up. But what I have is I have a pair of Hyatts, two pairs of, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Papes, P-A-P-E, W-D-P-A-P-E. Let me show you that. You know what, I'll zoom in. Anyway, I'll show it to you like this, and then I'll zoom in when I flip the camera around. Same thing. When I got these older ones, I didn't actually know what the maker was. It just happened as a surprise, which was pretty cool. You can tell they were plated, most of them. This one is kind of roached. The plating's worn off. Date from like the mid 19th century, and they're still producing them actually, especially German companies. They seem to be fond of it. But again, you can see they all work on the same principle. It doesn't open that much up top. It doesn't have to. See where it hits right here? All it has to do is open just enough to get the person's wrist inside. Just like that. And then it just snaps shut. This one pair, the spring is a little bit warm. I'll show you the close up in a second. Here's the inside. And you can see the notch. These two are both made by the Pape company. I hope it's not Pape or what. I'm from Philly, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I talk. These two are pretty much identical in size. There's a shot of the spring-loaded catch right there. And you just lift it up. It just comes up just a little bit. Just high enough to move that and, free it up. And that's all it takes, really. It's very simple in operation. Like most of the stuff the British made, these are actually, I think, like works of art because they're so smooth inside. The great steel feel. It even has this little bump inside, to make it more comfortable. Now, you can hold it like this. If you do it this way, that tends to dig into your palm a little bit. So, that's something that they would think about. You can tell the difference in the edges on the gripper part. The Hyatts are a bit flatter, but round all the way, and the Papes are a little like flatter this way. You can see the difference inside. These are the Hyatts, and these are not. So they came in a variety of different thicknesses. Hyatts, in this case, at least in this instance, are thinner and rounder. almost like a pair of Towers cuffs, you know, with the roundness. And these have the flat inner surface. These might have been manufactured around the same time. This one has a little bit more of a bulge to it. Everything I'm saying sounds dirty, but it's not. There is a difference in the thickness. These are both made by Pape. You can see the difference in the thickness of the spring. Just barely. This one's just a hair thinner than that one. I can't believe I don't have. I thought I did have a pair that had that flower etched onto it. It's like a flower, and it really, you know, neat workmanship. And these are my mystery ones. The only markings I can find on them are numbers. 441 on one side. And it's weird. I'll take pictures of this close up. It's like an upside down 198. Yeah, when I flipped it over, the other side of the 441, instead of 198 upside down, if you turn it this way, you got 861. So there you go. Like I said, I have no idea who made these. These are much lighter than the Hyatts and the other ones. So I don't know. I looked with my loop. I couldn't find any markings here. That's the only thing that's scratched in up top, stamped actually. But I think these are probably the oldest, just because the way the stamping is, the style of the numeral, and they're much thinner than the Hyatts in comparison, and they're flat like these guys. They're flat like them, but you can tell the difference. Much skinnier piece of metal. Okay, they were made out of thinner metal, and these weigh absolutely nothing. When you pick up these guys, you think that they're all going to weigh roughly the same. And another thing that's interesting is there's ridges on the catch. I'm gonna have to zoom in, sorry. There's ridges on the catch, right there. So I don't know how that was manufactured, but they're pretty cool. Same operation though. It's almost like scissors. Compare them to the Hyatts. And I'll turn them the same way. See how much smaller they are? Even when you put them button to button, it's the inside here is smaller. This is smaller. It's a shorter distance between here, between the edges, the pivot, than the Hyatts, and the same goes for. It's like a little brother. It seems like pretty much every handcuff company in England in the 19th century made these things too. I guess maybe it was like something that the cops would carry, you know, the bobbies would carry for everyday use, and then apply the handcuffs once the person got actually in jail or whatever. And there goes my neighbor doing his lawn again. 4th time this week, and it's only Tuesday. Obviously they're cheaper to make than handcuffs because you don't have a locking mechanism. You just have one piece of spring steel and that's it. And then you gotta file a notch, put them together. It's basically just, you know, 2 pieces held together by this pin thing, and that's about it. Mine are in pretty good shape, especially these guys. I really like them. But anyway, those are the scissor snaps slash snips scissor snaps slash snips slash grips slash come-alongs that were made in England that I have right now. And if you have any other weird ones, you know, let me know in the comments. You can go online and you can see most of the ones that had that flower thing. I think that was manufactured earlier. I think these Hyatts especially are a later version because, you know, it does say British made. The stamping is just like on the handcuffs. I think they stamped them at the same way during the same time periods. If you have any like weird, strange ones that maybe people haven't heard of, yeah, by all means share it with the community. You know, that would be really cool. All I got is 4 pairs so far. I would like to get a pair of Froggets and, you know, maybe one example from each company, just expand it that way, you know, because just like the handcuffs, they're pretty cool and they're tied in with the restraint collecting and they're awesome. And I always wondered, like, if they ever use these, you know, to really motivate people, like brass knuckles, but this sucker, that would poke a hole right in through your palm. Same thing with the other one. Okay, there you can see the marking, WPPAPE. The ones with more plating still left on them, WPPAPE. Here's the Hyatt's. Hyatt steel, it actually says. There's the British made. The mystery ones, there's the 441. And it's 861. Alright, let's compare the notched piece. On the mystery ones, you can actually see the grooves. There's the pape. And the other set of pape, where it would catch on that little tongue inside there. And here's the Hyatt's. It's neat because even that is chrome. And there's the inside. But when you move the steel up, that piece of metal moves up and it frees the catch. I hope you enjoyed this look at another different type of nipper. Oh yeah, they're called nippers too. And be sure to tune in again next time. So I'll see ya.